stop. I see some black content creators ain't saying nothing about the black women being attacked on this app. That's what's crazy to me. They holding space for the indigenous people across the country, all over from another 16 hours difference from us. But nobody's really holding space. I don't see a lot of people holding space for black women. But ain't nobody talking about that. There's no person that has got up here and said, here's the thing. Good afternoon. How are you, Francie? Yes, I'm a black queen for infinity to infinity. Hey, Rita. You know what I realized, guys? I went away from this app for a couple of days just to live my real life, to be quite honest. It's afternoon over here, Black Queen. Good afternoon, honey. What I realized is I'm still watching black women be attacked. Be on that mission. Be attacked. I'm still watching black women. I got a call last night in the AM with all these videos. By the way, I don't go and watch a lot of people's lives. I don't care because I feel like they're hosting lives full of lies. That's what I feel like. So I don't even go in them. I have not seen it. I don't go in it. I protect my energy at all costs. Until I hear you saying protect black women, then I'll respect you. But I don't respect people who don't respect black women. Can I ask how you're doing with your health and your home life? My health is wonderful. My home life is wonderful as well. Good afternoon, Queen Bridget. I lost my voice a little bit, and I think it's just the amount of talking that I'm doing that has just made me a little hoarse. All my body's trying to tell me something. I was looking up, when you lose your voice, what does that mean? You know, spiritually, you must align yourself again. You've been out of alignment, so that's what I do. I've been realigning myself so that I can calm my chakras down, because I was very upset for the last almost 5 days straight. I was upset all the time. But yeah, I decided what would be healthy for me, and I think everybody needs to do that, is I decided to unfriend and block a lot of people. One thing that I am keenly aware of, I never went into their lives, so I don't have a thought on it. They don't represent me at all, so I don't care what they say, to be quite honest. I decided to block and unfollow a lot of people, and I'll tell you why. We don't align. And what I'm recognizing is a lot of content creators are just here for content. And yes, I create content, but I have a goal in mind on what and why I'm creating content, and what is the goal for my account. And some people want followers. I want supporters. I can have some followers, but I want supporters, because the real true reason why I came up in this app is so that I can liberate black people. Right? The real true reason is that I know that a war is coming, and I want to make my black people aware of it, and I want to align with black people. I don't have the desire or the heart to overextend myself in other people's culture or nationality. I want to hold space for blackness. I want black people to know that there is a person out there who loves them, adores them from infinity to infinity. And so that's what I'm here to do. And I know some people believe that I should go. Hi, Shakira. I should go. Thank you, Shakira. Sharika, my bad. Some people think that I should go and have a sit down. I don't agree with that. I'm staying in my lane, in my space, and I'm comfortable right where I'm at. My words have been misconstrued. People have lied on me constantly. And what I've decided, Dareth, what are you talking about? Have I mentioned white people at all? This ain't about them. Please don't come in here talking that nonsense. That's crazy. Don't start this thing. I'm not centering white people at all. I don't care about them. They don't mean nothing to me, quite honestly, because I know what they have done to all of us, right? And so this is not about them. This is about us. Thank you. I don't have time for that nonsense. If you don't understand the mission, then you can leave. That's it. That's the goal here. And I want to talk about something that I'm witnessing on this app, I want to educate you guys if you would allow me to. I want to let you see something that's happening. I'm doing so well, Supreme. So I want to paint a picture for you guys. So since that has happened, that live where they have been talking about none of the real issues, in my opinion. It's just a whole bunch of he say, she say, and what they would have done if it was them. Honestly, Lenan, you don't really need to hear my side. I don't care for you to hear my side, to be quite honest. So that's how I feel. I don't care. You have to want to hear my side. It don't matter to me. Like, I don't care. I'm not here to prove myself to anyone. But so let me paint a picture for you guys. So that live happened. I can say wholeheartedly it was violent toward Black people. And that's what I'll say. A lot of anti-Blackness, a lot of holding space for Indigenous people. I was lied on. Nuggets was lied on. All of us was just lied. All people just lying. And people continue to hold space. Anyway. Exactly. Anyway, days have passed. And I don't know if you noticed how much like some of these people that are claiming to be indigenous, look pretty white to me. And so I'm just going to say that. A lot of them look white. And they call themselves white indigenous. If you claim to identify as a white person, then to me, you are in fact part of the issue. Period, point blank. Now, there are a great deal of indigenous people that consider themselves I really don't know. BLAK. I never heard of it. Don't know much about it. But what they have chosen to do is align themselves with white supremacy. By default, I believe people believe that the closer that they get to whiteness, the more popular they will be, the more money they will make. And so some of these folks have aligned themselves with white supremacy. The same goes for the Black people that are aligning themselves with the indigenous community, that are aligning themselves with the white community. Do you see what's happening? Now, what is painstakingly clear to me as a person who watches history and uses life as a reference point is that their alignment to whiteness and white superiority is going to be their downfall. That alignment that they're choosing is going to be their downfall. And the downfall for our community as well. Because they're choosing to align with white supremacy ideologies. The whole ideology that a black person or a black woman must apologize to a whole entire community, and we must be held accountable, all while they hold space for them to cry and try to dog walk us. That's white supremacy. If I ain't never heard or seen it, I know and I can identify that as white supremacy. Tactics and skills. I also can see that these kinds of thoughts does not come from our people. We do not shame people and try to like make them use them as an example by shaming and degrading them. And if you notice about me, I have not really spoke about any particular individual, especially if you're black. I will call out someone for being anti-black, but I will not try to dog walk them at all. Because by doing that as a black person, this is my opinion, you are upholding the systems of oppression and white supremacy. I am not going to get on this app and start talking about someone or diminishing a person in the way that makes them look beneath everyone and anyone. I would never do that. That a black person anyway. And so by default, while black people are getting up on this app, and I'm going to talk to my people, getting on this app, diminishing characters of particularly black women, because I don't think black men are getting the outrage. I don't believe that black men are even speaking up, which is more painstakingly clear that there is a lot of anti-blackness and a lot of like don't see black women as human beings. That's what I'm witnessing. And I hope that you guys' eyes are wide open. And they're doing it because they're saying that they are trying to hold people accountable. And I want to say this. Exactly, Georgia. They literally are deciding, and you will never see this or hardly ever see it. We're the only people that will stand with somebody else against us. And I'm just curious, all these people that is on this app holding space for this topic, has any of them ever done any social justice work at all? Have you held forums? Have you done any courses? Have you taught anybody? Like, what have you done? I think it's fake outrage. Who says the indigenous people cannot have their own space? I don't know. I'm confused on why they would want to come in my space when I don't want them near. I don't want them there. I don't want to hold space. I don't want them. I want to keep space for my black people because I don't see a lot of people keeping space for black people or black women especially. I'm an activist. Go check my records. Activists. I'm not worried about, listen, yeah, the Buffalo Soldiers, them people, those folks, those Buffalo Soldiers, and those Buffalo Soldiers decided they had to. They would live or die. The Buffalo Soldiers was enslaved black people. who was given a choice, work for us or die. You will be enslaved though if you don't. Your families will be hurt and harmed. Tell the entire story. I'm not holding space for none of that shit. Black women, especially plus size black women, are under attack on this app. See, and that's crazy. That's crazy. I think it's disingenuous to ask of black women what you are not giving to anybody but other than the indigenous community. You want accountability? Hold them accountable. I have yet to see anybody host a live that says, why did you come in that space that wasn't your space in the first place and demand that you will be given space? That's a simple question. Why did you come into a space that wasn't your space and demand space? When I see that happening, then I can say, okay, now we actually having a real conversation. Because if you play the video, Watch Nuggets, please send me this video because I would like to post some pieces of it on my page so I can get some truth without people illustrating it. What's the word? When they're talking in the background while the video is happening, so they can give you the perspective on what is happening here. I would like you to send me that because I want to see some of these pieces. Because in this live, we literally said, I said, I cannot speak to the indigenous people. I cannot commentary. Thank you, Rita. I cannot speak to an issue that I don't understand. I don't have any experience about the indigenous experience in Australia. That's why I don't feel like greetings. I seen your last post, sister, and I can't believe this is going on. This is what ignited me to come back in here. Because I just see people still trying to defend themselves. And no matter what you say, it's just never going to be. And that's what I recognize. So I might as well stand on the side of good. I never said that there is no person that can come in my space. But if you coming in my space to try to hold me accountable, then you're not going to be welcome, especially if you're trying to hold me accountable for lies. That will never happen. Hey, baby.
Greetings.
Greetings. My God, I just seen your post and you're still having this conversation, and it's painstakingly clear that this is of the when people uphold white supremacy, because that's what's happening. You will never be right in the eyes of the white supremacist.
Right.
That's why I'm deciding, because if you have been following me for these last 5 days, or if you've been a follower, a supporter of mine for all the time that I've been on TikTok, you know how I operate. But more important, these last 5 days, I have held space for the indigenous community to come in and talk peacefully. And when somebody got out of pocket, they were booted. That's what it has happened. But the ones who get it. The ones who is choosing to just not get it, it's because they want to uphold white supremacy. They want to dog walk us. It's not about understanding. It's not about anybody holding anybody accountability, because there was no anti-indigenous behavior happening in that live. There was specifically anti-blackness happening in that live over and over. In every live that I've had, they've come in my space and demanded something they are not allowed to have when it comes to my space. Yeah. And then to watch Black people uphold white supremacy in their lives while they dog walk Black women, especially.
Yeah. Me in my position, a lot of you probably don't even know who I am. I mind my fucking business on this app. When I first came on this app, I thought I was going to be part of the circle, of the big creators. I thought that was going to be where my place was. And I slowly but surely started to realize that these big creators ain't shit.
Girl.
I started slowly realizing that a lot of these big creators, they're stuff, and I don't necessarily align with a lot of the stuff that they got going on this app. So I distance myself, but at the same time, never, especially if they're Black creators, on
Think she
uh, I'll never ever publicly argue with them. You know what
either.
am I echoing at all?
You're like blinking in and out.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible, and then I'll come back. But yeah, I try to find space for myself, and then just move from there, because it's important that my message be heard for everybody. And I realized that a lot of these social justice and activist TikTokers, they only pick up the mainstream stuff, the stuff that go viral, the stuff that create controversy, the stuff that run up their numbers. I talk about pretty much anything that is going to be affecting me, my daughter, my mom, anything that's going to be affecting people in my neighborhood, and anything that's going to be affecting my people on a global scale. I talk about everything. So I like to have the uncomfortable conversations, regardless of whether they're going to impact my numbers. And I realize that that's not the TikTok game, you know? So I'm not playing that game, the TikTok game, where I'm looking for followers, looking for clout, looking to be liked. I don't care about any of that. I care about my message actually being heard. I care about dialogue being created. I talk about I look for trying to create sustenance from my page. I don't I all the other stuff, if it comes with it, so be it. But for the most part, I want people to start to see things from the perspective of a Black woman. You know what I mean? Even if I am not in a predominantly Black state, because I don't live in a predominantly Black country. I live in Canada. I live north of the United States. So my story is unique to me here, but at the same time, there are Black women all over the world who have very similar stories. So my dialogue is going to make people uncomfortable, and especially the fact that I own my Blackness. I walk in my queendom. I walk in my goddess energy. That makes people uncomfortable.
Yes.
And it also makes people uncomfortable when I say, hey, you can think I'm intelligent, but you can be blocked. I'm unintelligent, but you can be blocked. You don't have to be here. And it's almost like, how dare you? How dare you have your own space? How dare you have your own structure? How dare you block us out? Because the world doesn't block us out. We have proximity. We are in the structure. We uphold the system. How dare you? You're beneath me. And that's the energy that's been coming from the other side. We've been seeing, like you said, videos being narrated from that live. And what I'm seeing is they are being pieced together, but being narrated in a way that creates that anti-Black rhetoric. Like you're gonna be online talking about, the cause for the indigenous folks, but all while wearing a Malcolm X shirt. You know what I mean? Like that shit is mad wild to me. That shit is mad wild to me. You're creating the pathway for anti-Black rhetoric, all while wearing a Malcolm X shirt. You know what I mean? Like that shit is mad wild to me. And then in another video I saw a lady calling us the other side. And I thought to myself when seeing her video, I said, since when did we become the other side? If we're all on the side of anti-white supremacy, how did we get on the other side?
I thought I was on the side. I was close to a lot of those large content creators. I have proximity to them. I go in their lives. I have met some of them. We done had dinner, lunch, all of this stuff. But we are not the same. We are not the same. My mission on this app isn't to just create content. I'm hoping that I'm building some soldiers. I'm hoping that I'm building people that want to make action, that want to take action. That's what I'm on this app to do. I literally am on this app trying to find the people who want to fight the good fight, who want to get in a little good trouble. That's what I want. I'm not just here. I love speaking and talking, but I definitely want people who are supporters, who are ready to stand with me and say, no, 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 no. This is not acceptable behavior. And they're going to speak out against it. When you see something like this happening, where you see a huge amount of Black women being attacked just from speaking up and holding space for themselves, then I expect from my supporters to go make a freaking video and say attacking Black women is not acceptable. And no days of this. There's no days of attacking Black women. The same way they get together and make videos beyond videos, attack. Right now, my other page is being attacked. When something like that happens, I want my supporters to have an outrage and basically hit TikTok up and say, this should not be happening. She did nothing wrong. The same way they do. We have to have that same energy. Because if we don't, we will stay at the bottom of the totem pole. And everyone else will get that upliftment and we'll still be at the bottom. While they dropping the crumbs. That space was never curated for them in the first place. I don't understand why people are not getting that. This is for me, Sharika. This fight is larger than whether they are above me or they can stand. I'm not worried about that. What I'm seeing is Black women be attacked. That's what I'm talking about. And I will speak up on that issue every time. I have to speak up on that issue. It is the only way that we save our lives at this point. Tell me, whatever your name is, because I can't pronounce it. Tell me, how did I attack the native people? Thank you, because I don't got time. Marcus, go look on this app and you will see that Black women are being attacked. And so that's the thing, Sharika, I don't know about your attacks. And I'm not talking about as individuals. I'm talking about this is a grand scale of white supremacy being upheld to attack Black women. Yes, I use totem pole. Oh, me too. I experience racism all the time. Anyone else's, I'm not holding space for anyone else, Indigenous people included. They're welcome to sit in here, but they're only welcome to sit in here and be silent. That's how I'm doing this for moving forward. And I understand I have no thoughts because it's not a real thing. There's no block on block crime. Bye. See? See? Can't have a space without them. Thank you. Yes, it's not a real thing. It's called proximity crime. Do your research. We're the only people that is made out to be dehumanized because we are fighting each other. Everybody fights each other. This is not anything new. It's called proximity crime. Exactly. I don't know what people are talking about, black on black crime. That's not a real thing. It's called proximity crime, and crime is crime. Everybody, crime is crime. So the point of my life is to really say this. I'm going to protect black women. And you and I are not the same if you are upholding white supremacy. You and I are not the same. You and I are not the same. And some, like, really, on for real, some of these people, you wouldn't even have proximity to me in real life. I don't hate Aunt Karen. I don't hate her. You can dislike somebody, but I don't hate her. I don't hate her. I dislike her. I don't hate her. I just dislike her. I dislike what she represents. You can have that thought. Absolutely. You can have that thought. You can have whatever thought you want. But I would say that thought would only come in if you don't know what white passing and white presenting actually means. Because what they said was truth. It was facts.
Right. You just have to put it in the right context. And that, I'm saying, there was lack of nuance, lack of context. So a lot of people could have gotten their feelings about that. Totally understandable. But somebody in the comments said, is it possible to protect women, black women, and think modern warrior Miss Jones were out of line? Yes. I don't think they provided enough nuance or context in order to put that video out there. There was no build up to it. There was only backlash and follow. That's the problem, is that there was no nuance, no context, and their union, it doesn't look like there's, a lot of people that are happy about their union. I'm not saying that about black people per se, because I haven't seen any black people come out and talk about their union, but it's looking like Ms. Jones not really being accepted as his partner right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't seem like she's being accepted as his partner. And that's frustrating, because they're right now fighting us, I guess, the other side, about how we're excluding, biracial, indigenous folks. And it's like, but you guys are doing that right now with this black woman. Like, you guys are doing that right now. You guys can't talk out of this side of your neck and then this side of your neck too. Like, you can't do that. Like, you cannot serve two masters. You get me? Like, you have to pick a side. You're either on the side of righteousness or the other side. And I'm on the side of righteousness, because at the end of the day, I know those are my relatives. I don't have no problem with them. They're going through what we've been going through for a very, 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 very long time. Lifetime over lifetime over lifetime over lifetime over lifetime. We're talking mutations have happened in the human genome since we've been going through this shit. You understand what I'm saying? Breeding out the melanin is not a new concept. And I cannot stress this enough, because it seems like people are just so fixated on what's happened in America, what's happened in the UK. There have been empires and tribal wars and world powers that have been pushing the narrative of getting rid of the melanin out of the people for way longer than you guys could care to admit. Let's be real. Than we all care to admit. We don't want to think that it is something that not only is affecting us today, but has affected us so many thousands of years ago. Breeding out the melanin is not a new concept. Whitewashing history is not a new concept. All of it is there is nothing new under the sun, baby. Nothing new under the sun. So history is just repeating itself. It's the only difference now is that we have communication tools that we didn't have. during slavery that we didn't have during this, you know what I mean? The Arab slave trade. We have certain tools, certain communication tools. It's easier now for us to connect on a global scale. You know what I mean? Before we used to connect on a global scale, but it was on a different frequency. It was spiritually. We did that spiritually. Now we can do that in a virtual sense, in a physical sense, even. We have that freedom now, right? That freedom we do have. But how are we using that freedom? Are we using the freedom to galvanize each other, to put the unity in community? Are we doing that? No. What we're doing is picking up everybody else's fight. Meanwhile, we're being left in the shitter. We're getting the shit under the stick. And you know what? Me tired of giving my body and I shit through my ribs. Me tired. That and for y'all that don't know, that just means that if I ain't got no asshole, I gotta shit through my rib cage. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep giving that shit away. So I'm here to be that uncomfortable voice. I'll take the backlash. I got these broad shoulders, so I could hold it. I could hug it. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not about to lay down and be a carpet for these people neither. You know, I walk on blood clot me. May I tell you that? No.
That's why I didn't. And as much as people, what I'm recognizing is they're upholding white supremacy. I'm clear on that. I'm not questioning that. I'm not asking people, do they think it? I am witnessing Black people uphold white supremacy and the indigenous community uphold white supremacy. And they're using those tools to attack Black women specifically. And so when I see that, there is no kind of, I don't have no space for it. I'm always going to be on the side that protects Black women first against all people, regardless. I'm going to stand 10 toes down and I will die on that hill if necessary to protect Black women. Because what I'm witnessing for the last couple of days is Black women being attacked, and not one real live done by these so-called large content creators that is saying, listen, we're going to have to talk about the indigenous people who went into that live that was not for them. And why did you go? And when they said over and over and over, this space is not for you, you continue to stay and intrude and bombard your way in saying, I must get in. But nobody is brave enough to do that. And what my mentor explained to me is that because they are afraid. And I don't operate in fear. I'm not going to let nobody silence me. My blood in my veins comes from Haile Selassie, the last and only empress of Ethiopia. So the only emperor, excuse me, not empress. So in my lineage, I don't just stand and let people harm me. I stand for what's right. So if you're standing here talking about what about the indigenous people while being Black, you're giving me some uncomfortable vibes. You and I are not the same.
Right. Well, I want to say, I do consider myself a big creator. I have over 270,000 followers on this platform. And, the reason I haven't made a video or I haven't tried to, be involved is because I'm going to be very blunt. I don't mix well with a lot of the pro-Black activists on this app. People like Aunt Karen, people like I Speak, people like Patrick. I don't mix with that vibe. I'm not putting them down or anything like that. And back to your issue with, Modern Warrior and that specific live. I only saw the end of it. You know what I mean? I just saw like a few seconds of it. I wasn't aware until I came to your live the other day that you were even being attacked. So I don't ever want to like jump into something and then it seemed like it's about me. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have the dialogue to say, this is what happened and this is who attacked. You know what I mean? So if you feel like I haven't done enough, I'm really sorry. I'm definitely on your side. I do and am trying to always speak up for monoracial Black people, monoracial people, because we cannot get on the internet and tell people we're mixed. I cannot do that. Okay. But a mixed person can get on the internet any day she wants and say, today I'm Black. It's always okay to take from monoracial people, you know? And so I definitely stand with you on the issue, and I am trying to figure out ways, to put that out there, because yeah, there's people in the mixed community that think that I hate mixed people, but I don't. I'm a monoracial Black person, and I'm done sharing my identity with people who can choose a race one day and then leave it the next day. I can never, ever, 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 ever in my life get up on this internet and tell people I'm mixed. They will drag me as delusional. They will attack me and call me crazy. But mixed people can do that whenever they want.
Right.
And so I agree with you. And so I'm sorry if you feel like I didn't do enough, but it's because I don't have the dialogue, and I don't want anybody to think that this is a me thing. Like, this is about Sharika, this is about you and people that were actually there. So that's why I've been in the back.
Yeah, I just feel like, so now that we've had a conversation about it, and you kind of get the gist of what's been going on, Black women are being dragged. I feel like at some point, Black content creators need to say, stop dragging Black women. Period, point blank. That's one thing we all should be able to agree on, whether we like each other or not. One thing we should all be able to agree on and get up on this app and say, stop dragging Black women. There's going to be no space for you to drag Black women. I'm not upholding the dragging of Black women. I don't have to like you to agree with you on that one specific issue. I don't have to, after that, we don't even have to follow each other. We don't have to support one another. We don't even have to mention each other's name, because I don't need to mention anyone's name. I just block and remove them out of my space. That's how you're going to know whether I fuck with you or not. That's it. I don't have to keep on mentioning you. I don't do any of that nonsense. That's childish to me.
Right.
I'm too old for that. What I will do is just block you and never speak to you again. And that's how you know exactly how I feel about you.
That's it.
But this is if we can get up here and do posts twerking, booty jumping, or talking about what we ate for dinner last night, or where we went to a movie, what movie we liked, if we can get up here and do posts about that, then we certainly can get up here and say, listen, I don't know what's all going on, but what I will not stand for is Black people or Black women being dog walked.
Sorry, I'm irked.
That's what I don't.
Include mixed Black women not trying to be funny? Nah, but see, Wait.
Please don't interrupt me, God. Please don't interrupt me. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. If I'm talking, let me finish my train of thought.
That comment really irked me.
I mean, so that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting that Black content creators and even indigenous content creators that actually believe that what we're saying is the truth, that they should not have been in our space, that they should have left when we asked them to leave, because it was never for them. I'm looking for posts. I'm looking for people to post things and say that. It does nothing if you just sit here and say, yeah, that's you. You know what, Ray, you're telling the truth. We have to have the same impact the other side has. We have to, or it means nothing.
And it's wild that we're referring to each other that way. That is wild to me, because
I'm referring to the way they refer to me.
I know, right?
That abuse, what I witnessed that day was too much. They are the others right now.
That's crazy.
They are. They're upholding white supremacy. How can I align with people who uphold white supremacy? I cannot align with you any longer. You're upholding a system that has oppressed all of us, have taken away our history, our heritage, our lineage, our culture. They taking it all. Even the culture that they're upholding is not fully their culture, because half of them even come in doing what they're supposed to do culturally. When they came to my live, they're supposed to introduce themselves, introduce their tribe, speaking their own native language. So pieces of you are missing too. So I cannot align with someone who upholds white supremacy. So that's why I'm saying the other side. I don't know what to call them because a lot of them looked white to me.
To me, white passing people are a problem. I've never been down with the two percenters. I don't care in any race. I'm not down with two percenters trying to dictate to people who have to walk in that identity every single moment of the day how it should be. I've never been cool with that. I don't have a problem with them talking about what a two percenter goes through, but I'm tired of a two percenter trying to say they know what a full Native American goes through, a full Asian, a full Black person. They don't fucking know. And we have let them infiltrate their way in here because of our fear of white supremacy and what that can do if we reject them. You know, and now we're cleansing all of that out, and we're using our mouths to say, hey, you know, this is unacceptable. You're crossing the line. You